In a digital world overflowing with filters, trends, and fleeting fame, a new voice rises, bold, unapologetic, and unforgettable. Her name is Yaritza Lopez. More than just a model, she's a statement, a living manifesto of confidence, body positivity, and raw authenticity. From Puerto Rico to millions of screens worldwide, Yaritza doesn't simply follow the rules of beauty, she rewrites them. And in every photo, every reel, every glance, she reminds us, true influence isn't measured by perfection, but by the courage to be real. Yaritza Lopez is not just a young woman in her early 20s, she is the reflection of an entire generation searching for a new definition of beauty. Born around 2003, in an era dominated by narrow standards and airbrushed ideals, she chose to stand as the exception. Her presence isn't confined to the glossy frame of Instagram, it is a quiet rebellion, a statement whispered through every post. Beauty isn't measured in centimeters, it's measured in confidence. With each image, she transforms from a name on a screen into a symbol, a reminder that true influence begins when someone dares to be unapologetically themselves. Yaritza's journey into the world of social media didn't start with grand campaigns or polished productions, it began with simple posts on Instagram and TikTok. What set her apart wasn't just the content itself, but the energy behind it, a playful spirit, unapologetically bold images, and a way of speaking to her audience that felt less like performance and more like conversation. In a sea of curated perfection, Yaritza's authenticity cut through the noise, and almost effortlessly, people began to listen, to watch, and most importantly, to connect. One of Yaritza's greatest strengths is her refusal to conform to the narrow, traditional ideals of beauty. As a proud curvy model, she challenges the long-standing obsession with slimness that has dominated fashion and media for decades. Her very presence sends a message louder than words: beauty is not one size, nor one shape, it's the confidence you carry within. In every photo shoot and reel, Yaritza doesn't just showcase herself, she showcases a revolution, a movement that celebrates diversity, self-love, and the freedom to be seen exactly as you are. On Instagram, Yaritza curates more than just a feed, she builds a visual manifesto. From sleek fashion looks to daring swimwear and bold photo shoots, every image radiates a quiet defiance and unshakable confidence. Her posts are not crafted to chase perfection, but to spark reflection, to remind her followers that beauty does not begin with editing tools or flawless silhouettes, but with the courage to embrace the body you already live in. Each picture becomes an invitation. A challenge to love yourself a little louder, and a little more unapologetically. On TikTok, Yaritza thrives in the fast rhythm of short videos, dancing, laughing, and sharing playful glimpses of her world. Each clip feels spontaneous, like a moment stolen from real life, and that raw energy is exactly what makes her so magnetic. She isn't performing for the camera, she's simply being herself in front of it, and the audience loves her for it. Meanwhile, her YouTube channel, though smaller, offers something different, a slower, more intimate space where she can expand beyond quick trends. Here, she experiments with lifestyle content, personal insights, and creative storytelling. Together, these platforms show two sides of the same coin, the vibrant entertainer who lights up a crowd, and the thoughtful creator who lets you into her everyday life. Influence can often be difficult to measure, but in Yaritza's case, the numbers tell a powerful story. What began as a modest following has now grown into a community of hundreds of thousands, stretching into the millions across different spaces online. Every day, her content reaches people from different countries, backgrounds, and cultures, proving that her message resonates far beyond borders. These figures are not just statistics, they are reflections of trust and connection. Each follower represents someone who found inspiration in her confidence, someone who saw a piece of themselves in her journey. The rapid growth of her audience is a testament to how authenticity, courage, and self-acceptance can spark a movement larger than the individual. Yaritza is not simply collecting numbers, she is building a legacy of influence, one post, one smile, and one act of self-love at a time. At the heart of Yaritza's journey lies a message far greater than fashion, photos, or fleeting trends. She stands as a voice of self-acceptance in a culture that too often demands conformity. Through her presence, she tells her audience that confidence is not a gift you wait to receive, it is a choice you make every single day. Her philosophy is simple yet transformative: love yourself as you are, and the world will learn to love you on your own terms. For many of her followers, Yaritza has become more than just an influencer. She is a mirror reflecting back the truth that beauty does not live in flawless skin or perfect angles. Beauty lives in courage, the courage to embrace your body, your voice, and your individuality. She breaks stereotypes not with loud declarations, but with quiet authenticity, by showing up as herself, unapologetically, day after day. This is why people gravitate to her. In a digital age filled with edited perfection, Yaritza's honesty shines brighter. She proves that inspiration does not come from being unattainable, but from being real. And in her realness, she empowers a generation to believe that their worth has never been tied to a number, a size, or a standard, but to the unshakable truth of who they are. Every success story carries its share of challenges, and Yaritza's is no exception. Unlike many public figures, she hasn't relied on endless interviews or media spotlights to validate her worth. Instead, she carved her own path, building a thriving community with nothing more than her voice, her presence, and her courage. That alone is an achievement worth celebrating, creating influence not through publicity machines, but through authenticity. Her rise also highlights a powerful truth: representation matters. For decades, entire groups of women were left unseen in fashion and media, their bodies erased by impossible ideals. By stepping forward as a curvy model, Yaritza not only claimed her own place in the spotlight but also opened the door for countless others to be seen. Every post she shares is more than content, it is a reminder that visibility is power, and power can transform culture. Her story is proof that you don't need traditional validation to make an impact. What you need is persistence, honesty, and the willingness to stand tall in a world that often tells you to shrink. In doing so, Yaritza has turned her challenges into stepping stones, and her victories into symbols of hope for an entire generation. Yaritza's influence extends far beyond her own platforms. Her journey has sparked conversations in living rooms, classrooms, and online communities about what it truly means to be beautiful and strong in today's world. Young women see in her the permission to celebrate themselves, young men see the value of authenticity over illusion. She has become a ripple in the water, one voice that inspires countless others to raise their own. And with every ripple, the movement grows stronger, spreading the idea that confidence, courage, and kindness are far more magnetic than any narrow ideal. Yaritza Lopez is more than a model, more than a passing influencer. She is the embodiment of a new generation of women who dare to stand against stereotypes and redefine what it means to succeed. Her story is not about chasing perfection, but about embracing imperfection with pride. It is about proving that passion, courage, and authenticity can open doors that once seemed permanently closed. Through her, we are reminded that success is not reserved for the few who fit society's narrow mold, but for anyone bold enough to live unapologetically as themselves. Yaritza's journey is not just her own, it is a mirror reflecting the power of self-love, and a call to every voice still waiting to be heard. And if this story inspired you, make sure to stay connected with us here on Gorgeous Models, the place where beauty meets authenticity, and where the voices of inspiring women are celebrated every day.